Greetings, all greetings. Today I'm stepping into the proverbial ant's nest, but I hope that those of you who have been following me for a while, comprehend what I'm saying and not fall into comprehend what I'm saying. Anyway, we left our place of birth. I'm talking about diasporans, and in some cases, Africans leaving Africa too. But we left our place of birth and through life, the journey, ended up in Africa somehow. And we tell ourselves, the place that we're moving to leave behind things that are not good for us. And yes, they are not. I'm not saying that they are, because you shouldn't have to drive down the street looking in your rearview mirror or walk down the street looking behind you to see what danger is coming, whether it's from another person who don't think you belong in that neighborhood or whatever the case might be. Don't belong in that store that you go to shop in. Just not supposed to own that car you drive in case of policemen, or just somebody who dislike you. And America is like England too. Well, it's other European countries slowly, because that mindset is being taught. There are people going from America into Europe who are talking that, bringing that mindset into Europe. The young generation, they are raising up a new generation to think like them. And if you look at the political scene, you'll see that there's these conservative groups. As a matter of fact, the other day they met in Germany, and it's causing a little stir right now. But anyway, this same war in Ukraine, the Nazi element is being groomed throughout the world, even in South Africa. Not only South Africa, but throughout Africa. Anyway, we left this place to come to Africa, and we are coming with a mindset that we are leaving something that's bad for us and coming to something that is going to be good for us, because all around us we are going to be saying black faces a majority of the time. We live in this world of myth. We live in a world of myth. And the myth comes in different forms. Like, for instance, throughout our lives we've been told stories about Africa. Shown videos, movies about starving Africans, and telling us how illiterate and unwanted the African is because he's not intelligent. We've been told that ourselves. Our parents were just that was beaten out into them, and they passed it on to us in the diaspora. And we've been always told that we have to adopt the European mentality to become civilized. But then our own teachers, our own those who educated themselves, because education was taken from majority of us, our parents. So you got people like Dr. Ben, Professor Clark, Eric Williams, Anton Diaz, who educated themselves now about Africa. Of the past. And when I say myth, I mean it's the story's been told to us. They found the evidence and told us this is it, but it's up to us to believe it. And when you look at something that you haven't seen for yourself, it's in a way a myth. It's a matter of up to you to believe it. And we have to adopt the European way in order for us to be, considered to be human and man again. In some ways succeeding. We hear from our own African people that the most beautiful place on earth is Africa. But we don't know it for sure because we've never been there. The same way the white man showed us starving Africans, we believe that the whole of Africa is starving. But anyway, the African culture was basically taken away from us. So we have nothing, we can't go back. It's gone for us in the diaspora. We have to now go back and learn. But what do we come back to when we come back to Africa? Before coming back to Africa, I would say prior to arrival in Africa, actually, everything we think we know is just theory, really. But there's another. Today, we're going from what we know to what's fact. Today, throughout Africa, the Caribbean, South America, there's this character. And I see him developing, 3-4 years ago. There were only 1 or 2 of them. They will go around the world traveling and show you a little glimpse of Africa, the Africa that they are seeing. But today it's like I see people riding across Africa, bicycles, motorcycles, and they stop in every little village or town, city, and they're showing you the Africa that saying, wow, so this is Africa. But if you look back at it carefully, you'll see that it's the same Africa that their parents showed us. With all these starving Africans, no electricity in the village, no good running water in the village. They couldn't find a good hotel to stay at. So here's this place that they're staying at, no bathroom. You know what I'm saying? The same story. But we're not picking up on it. They go into the slums in Nigeria and say, here I am in this dangerous part of Nigeria. I'm fearful for my life. And they have to, they're showing you this policeman. I saw one the other day with policemen. They're dressed in flak jackets, carrying submachine guns. And when there are people back home see these photos, it's like looking at the old Tarzan movies with the British Army, in Africa. And these poor naked Africans scared to death. You know what I'm saying? They are showing you the worst of Africa, and Africa is not paying attention to what they're showing about Africa. You are not paying attention to what they're showing about Africa. I saw one guy do it, and then the next group of people I see do it was these guys from Kenya, these YouTubers from Kenya. Into Trenchtown, Jamaica, Tunapuna, Trinidad, Rio, Sao Paulo, and each time they go into these places, they go among the black people, saying, "Man, I'm in the slums, the most dangerous part of Brazil, Rio, and all black people around." And this guy was walking around filming our actions. And he has a large following in Africa. And they're African YouTubers. Like I said, the Kenyans. They followed this first white guy to wherever he's going. And they are making videos about their dangerous journey through the black world. When I first started seeing this, I said, you know what? Let's make a video about it. But then my mind says, wait, let's see how many Africans go to these places and show the positive part of Jamaica. They say, look, here's Trenchtown. Trenchtown is a clean place, People would be surprised. Clean. Different to some places in Kenya, Tanzania, Ghana, and Nigeria, with trash everywhere. Gambia, people just eat and use bags of garbage out on the street. The narrative about Africans being this depraved, stupid, don't take care of themselves, being preached by Africans from Africa coming to the Caribbean or South America, Central America, following in the footsteps of the Caucasian. Now, the Caucasian is carrying on his father's narrative. But here is now the African following him. And he too is carrying his father's narrative. See, his idea is that he's going to go show his father sold us into slavery, our forefathers into slavery, to build his house. And the connection to the Caucasian again. Now he is following that Caucasian into the places where the Caucasians go to show how stupid Africans who came from Africa years ago are in the new places that they are. He is doing that to build his house. That's why at the beginning of this video I said you gotta be careful. You're thinking you're gonna get upset at me for saying this, especially you people in from the diaspora, because you got this mythological thinking about Africa and the Africans. But history is something that you haven't looked at carefully. Hence, Dr. Clark, Ben Yaka, Dr. Ben, Eric Williams, Anton Diop, he's had to go back and dig up history and bring it back and present it to you because the lack of education, the lack of knowledge, not education really, the lack of knowledge. And your lack of knowledge is letting these people follow the Caucasian again. In their attempt to show that we are not, we are still not progressing. Now we got Africans from the diaspora. They come to Africa with some money and they get a little place to live. And because you have more money to spend than an African, you think you got it made. But all around you are things that you're just doing what the Caucasian is doing. Caucasian come and stay in a hotel in Africa. You don't care about Africa. You come there, you make his money, relax, go back to Europe. Just like his father did. 3, 4, 5, 600 years. You see how history is? It has repeated itself. And the funny thing is now, the Europeans, just like how they were fighting wars before they came to Africa the first time, they were fighting against each other. And then they stopped fighting and came to Africa and divided Africa between them. Today, they're about to end this war and come back to Africa again. But Africans can't see it. Africa is towing that line about how stupid Africans are. Remember, when you Africans, when you Kenyans go to Trenchtown, showing Trenchtown, talking about who's the most dangerous place in the world, what do you think you're doing? How has the world changed? How has the African world changed? The African mindset, how has it changed? You're leaving the United States and Europe and all that as a diaspora and coming to Africa. Do you see what you're getting into? The Africans don't see what is happening. Just like they didn't see while before or while the white man was building the forts all along the coast of Africa to enslave, they were helping. Are we going to change or are we going to stay the same? When I started making videos about this war in Europe, I told you the Europeans coming back. I told you don't get involved in the war, but watch what's going to happen. Have a great day wherever you are.
Peace.